I see both the practicing and the preparation and the playing of a concerto. I see it as one process. It's not that the practicing is a sort of obligatory thing you have to do and then the concert is there. But it has to be a gradual way of climbing up that you really can give a great concert.
I start in the morning. I start with technique and skills, and from there on, it depends on every day.
When I practice, I'm very anarchist. In my, some days I do a lot, some days I do nothing. I don't have schedule. It's just the way I feel.
Because sometimes I have a concert, sometimes not. Sometimes you play 3 projects at the same time.
Sometimes you are on one thing and you keep there for 2 hours, and then you realize, wow, I'm so tired and it hurts here, and it hasn't helped me a lot.
When you practice, let's say, for 45 minutes or an hour, 15, 20 minutes of this hour will be high concentrated. The rest is just playing. It brings you not very much.
The study lab is a collaboration between musicians and sports scientists to apply insight in performance and performance skills to music.
We could try to apply those principles, those insights in practicing conservatorium students to find out if it helped them in practicing to play a piece of music in a relatively short time.
Gerald Klikstein wrote a book about all aspects of musicianship. There I found the idea of this 20 minutes schedule.
20 minutes works and 5 resting. It's like you are more aware of the time you have.
In the beginning it was a bit hard because after 20 minutes your alarm goes off and you're like, oh, but I'm not finished, 1 more minute.
In these 20 minutes you have to make for yourself a very defined target, a very defined goal. I want to do this, to practice this and this and this in this 20 minutes.
Often called deliberate practice, yes, but that you think of what you are doing. Did you attain the results you wanted? If not, what's the cause of that? Try to change that.
I mean, it sounds so logical, but sometimes you just forget. You think, I have half an hour to practice. You take a cello and you practice without having like a clear idea of what I have to do.
We focus not only in the way of like how you practice, but also to make your things to this performance moment. When I go on stage, it's disaster. When I wake, the day I have some voorspiravond, something to do, I'm already nervous.
There's always a big difference in level during their performance on a lesson and finally they play a concert.
Yeah, I cannot eat. I have cold, then I'm sweating. I cannot see anything, feel anything.
It's often that a dip in concentration. You have the risk that you make mistakes. Mistakes makes you less secure.
Before entering the concert, I'm really like. It's like something here switches off and everything goes and I can like not do anything to make it better.
It feels that if I make a mistake, I fall into this deep hole where I have to climb out. I mean, I try not to think about it.
It begins with stress, but it also gives you stress during performance. When you have a good performance, you are perhaps stressed in the beginning, but when you start playing, it disappears more or less, and you can give a beautiful concert. But some people are very much distracted by the way they are playing. We know from sports these mental disturbances are trainable.
I think this imaginary practice is really good, and I think there's far too less attention for this kind of practice.
Prepares you for the concert, because sometimes we are a bit off guard of a concert because we just practice our piece, but we don't practice the concert.
For instance, thinking about a moment on stage, I get nervous, even if I'm just sitting in my room.
Applying mental imagery, you need a script in which is described what you imagine, in fact. The collaboration of the coach and the musician, they formulate what the participant must imagine.
With Nienke, the person we talk with, she has made me an exercise. I'm working with it. So, for example, when you go out from stage, these days I've been trying to imagine me going out. I take the oboe out of my case, ensemble the oboe, take the reeds, put it in the oboe. I take my music, everything is there, all the pages. Now I'm opening the door and I'm going through it. I walk until the center of the stage and I bow. Then after bowing, I put my music on the stand, also the reeds. Look to my pianist, I smile. Look to my music, and it begins.
The easy example is in basketball. Then you can focus on the position of your hand, your arm, and things like that. That's what's called an internal focus of attention. You can also focus on the end point of the trajectory of your ball. That's the rim in basketball. And then you focus on the rims, since that's the place where the ball should end.
Instructions like, for example, imagine the music in colors, or think of a scenery with every phrase, and it was kind of fun, and you felt that you did something musically.
External focus of attention is helpful in doing the task, in carrying out the movement, but also in stressful situations, since you are focusing on your task and not on feelings of doubt, of worries, and things like that.
We had a tryout after 3 days, which we could choose how much we played. And I played like about half. That was like my clear goal since the first day. And now it's 1 week later, and we had to do the whole recital now.
I was a little bit worried because today was the whole program. I had to play 3 pieces, like 30 minutes.
I'm definitely not prepared for this tryout.
2 tryouts, you can say it was a kind of training under pressure in sports, we say. In this case, you rehearsed your performance even after only 2 days. You have to perform in the eyes of an audience.
Of course, I was nervous. I was breathing a little bit high, like really here and there was. But still, I was more relaxed. Actually, at some moment, I must say I was comfortable at the stage, which actually I cannot usually say. I'm always.
Every opportunity to play it for people, you have to do it. Makes no difference where. It's a way of training under a slight stress. Training under stress is a very good way of training. Not a heavy stress, but light stress. So these performances are very useful for the final result.
We have strong indications that they practice more efficient. So in less time reaching the same result, or in the same time attaining better results.
They discovered that they could prepare a piece which was rather tough, rather difficult, in a very short time.
Participants are quite positive about their experiences. At the same time, that is directly finishing the study lab. And I'm interested in, does it remain? Yeah? Do they still use half a year later or a year later their assignments and way of practicing?
How we can bring the results of this in the normal conservatorium and how we can inform the teachers.
That they apply those principles in their own lessons and that way stimulate students a different way of practicing than they were used to.
Mostly everything is connected with music and conservatorium and students and studying music is rather romantic, you know. You have the talent and you practice and it will all come by itself. But there is, of course, an artistic part, but there is also a very rational part, which is just training and preparing. I think we are just at the beginning with this study lab.